Yo, what's going on, my people? Appreciate y'all tuning in this afternoon on a late session of the closing bell here. I know we're doing it a little late this afternoon. Right now it's about 4 p.m. on the 5th of August. It's Thursday here. And, I just kind of wanted to provide an update as to some of those stocks we talked about this morning. So waiting for the bell, after market close. Some of these stocks had their earnings today. Just kind of wanted to see what direction we were going to move in before I provided y'all with an update. But I just kind of I didn't want to leave y'all hanging, so I thought I'd still release this video here today and just kind of give an update on where we left off this morning. For those of y'all that haven't tuned in though, we did have 4 stocks that we brought up this morning that we're watching when it comes to earnings, as far as these potential breakouts that we were looking for. Some of these are new to the list, but some of them are ones that we just picked up as well. But just jumping right in it here, we do have 4 up here on the charts, which we have Semi, which was Chem Biodiagnostics. We have RSLS, which is Reshape Life Sciences. We still have Zella Technologies up here, Zella, and Nanovibronics, NAOV. Off the back though, for those of y'all that are new to the channel, Chem Bio, this is a stock that we took a new position on yesterday, waiting for these earnings to be posted here. We're hoping to maybe push up a little higher. Unfortunately, it didn't play out that way. Earnings kind of was a little under what was expected here. And as you can see though, it didn't really play in our favor. I was watching it as the market closed. We started to push up, got up to like 372 or so. And then once the earnings were released, we ended up coming all the way back down. And as you can see, we're hitting a low of 322 or so here. Don't mean that that's it for this stock. As you can see, we still close 352. We've come down a little bit, about 30 cents or so. This is still levels that we are hitting though in the middle of the day. As you can see, we haven't even come all the way down, touching those lows that we had seen earlier this morning. So I'm still holding my position. I'm going to see how tomorrow plays out, if we can recover from the earnings. I know they're doing some good things here as far as their testing, their availability and their testing devices and things like that. I believe they had some approval for an antibody test that they should be releasing in the market soon. I believe these are going to make this price recover and maybe push to some higher levels. The earnings just weren't something that everybody was, fascinated about. To hear the word loss, I don't think anybody likes that word. And I mean, we could have took a bigger dive, but we've only come down a few cents. So we still know people are holding this position here. Possible just some people took some profits, maybe from the, a couple of days back where we started to see some of these gap ups here. And maybe with the earnings report coming out, this wasn't the news they were hoping for, and we ended up selling off a little bit. But really, we just sold off those gains that we had. As we can see, we pushed up through the afternoon, kind of just came back more or less where we were. So it's not a big loss, not a big decline in price here, but it just didn't pop off like we were hoping. But I don't think it's over yet. We still haven't even seen a lot of volume. We're barely at 45% of our capacity of our daily average. And I feel we can still possibly move higher. As you look at the charts here, as you can see, we're still kind of just consolidating here little by little. I really feel like since all these averages are starting to touch, we may see a squeeze up. Reason I'm going to wait and see what happens come morning time. I really feel like in the morning, once all these people were scared out of their positions because of the earnings report, we'll start to recover and hopefully hit these highs again. We need to break through this $4 level in order for us to push up higher, but maybe that'll come next week. This week just really wasn't the week of the breakout here, but we did see some nice gains for those that were able to take an early position. I myself, I'm kind of negative at the moment, but I ended up actually picking up a few more shares around 330 or so. We have come down a little lower since, because I bought in before the market closed, before we actually started to break out here. But hey, we can't win it all, can't win them all. We're just gonna be patient with this one, see what happens come tomorrow, where we can close and possibly open in the next week. But Chem Bio, added to the watch list. Let's keep this one in mind um, as we start to recover from these earnings reports, and I really feel like we can still see some higher prices here. RSLS, this is one that's still been holding level, give or take. We haven't broke through that level we were calling, which is also, I believe, around $4 or so. We need 2 green candles on the 5-minute to close above that level in order for us to call this a buy. I know I was calling $4 earlier this morning. It looked like we may have been on a downtrend though at the time when we were talking about it. I believe it was right here or so. No, this is actually the morning when we broke out. Let's look at the 30-minute here. So it was actually like right in this area here. So it really didn't really play out like we were hoping it would. As you can see, it was right here. Started to push back up and it reversed on us. But I don't think it's over for this one yet either. We're almost at 100% of our volume. Hopefully tomorrow we can see some gains here. Short interest is pretty high on this stock. But I really feel like they had a positive earning report come out today, which drove the volume up. But the high short interest in this, they were really keeping that price in check here. So we would need something a little more to push this up, to break through this $4 level, and we can start to move up higher. And if we could break through this $4 and hold support at that level, this one can jump up pretty quick. This one does have a few dollar gains when it is running, and it can gap up pretty fast here. Man, my daily chart doesn't work on this platform for some reason. Sorry about that. But looking into the 4-hour, so I wanted to show you more or less on this trend line. This trend line just doesn't give me the picture I want to see on this 4-hour here, but it is what it is. As you can see though, we've had those runs where they've shot up pretty significant there. But as you can see, last time we gapped up around this level, we went from $4 to $5, pushing all the way up to $14, $12, and so when this happens in like a day, so this stock can really move with that short interest as we start to squeeze those sellers out of their positions. But we need a lot of buying and a lot of volume to go on to push this price up higher. I'm going to continue to watch this. I pulled a position, support.com. Closed my position. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on with the earnings. I was under the impression they were today. It looks like they pushed it back to the 12th now. I don't know when that changed. But I was more like, I'm just done waiting with it. I'm just wasting my time. I like to be patient. I've already made some gains. I've doubled my money more or less on that stock. So I just thought it's time to move on, and maybe we'll have to come back and check that one out. But I may look into pulling a new position on here. Yeah, we can start to test these other levels. I was in this one last week sometime. Made a little change. I do know how this one can move, and it can jump pretty quick. So just something to keep in mind when we watch these. This was one of those short squeeze candidates that I had listed about a little over a week ago or so. So we're going to continue to watch that one also. Zella Technologies, not really much going on with Zella today, y'all. I know this is one of our favorites. As we start to still play around on these levels, we've been testing that $3 mark. We didn't actually make it that high today. Not a lot of volume coming in, as you can see, 16%, so not really much moving happening. But we're still holding levels around $3 or so. Picked up a new position around $2.97. This came down this morning. I ended up jumping in a few more 100 shares on that one, trying to ride it up again. So I called this, knew we were going to sell off yesterday, took a little profit, bought back in, pocket what I made, and we're going to try to ride it back up here. But that's the plan with Zella. For those of y'all that aren't familiar, this is a strategy we were doing this week. Kind of felt like we weren't going to break out yet. We need the volume to come in. I really feel like next week will be the week for Zella once earnings are published, I believe on the 10th. And I really think they'll have some positive news here. Today they did have an article that was released this morning about their HR solutions, human resource outsourcing service, and that started to go live in India and in the US here. So we did see a kick up in volume earlier this morning. It just wasn't enough to drive this price though. So we're gonna stay monitoring this one, moving into tomorrow and the end of the week. As you can see on the 4-hour, we're riding that 21-day moving average as we speak. We're starting to consolidate here, and we'll possibly squeeze back up and test these highs again tomorrow, hopefully. But talk of the town, y'all, talk of the market here. NAOV, this one had a nice move today, y'all, and it was unexpected as we didn't see any volume this morning. As I was talking about some of our other charts, I started to see some movement in this one. We had an article published also on NAOV, and they applied for CMS reimbursement code for its ultrasound devices and efforts to expand addressable market. So that started to push up the price. We hit a high of 262 today. I know we talk about taking profits, but looking at the daily and the 4-hour, I'm still seeing a lot of upward pressure. As you can see, we're bouncing up, moving up, starting to test levels, and we're looking for that breakout here. So I don't think it's over for NAOV. Hopefully tomorrow we can keep the momentum coming in. We had 182% of our daily average volume, so that's really good. We got the volume coming in, just wasn't enough to squeeze it. We do need this to turn green. Hopefully we can hold these levels tomorrow. But we'll definitely keep y'all posted in the morning market, pre-market. You know, thought about selling, but I just don't think it's over yet. This is barely starting to gain back up, and I don't want to pull out too early here. If I start to see some resistance on some of our dailies, maybe looking into the RSI and things like that, I'll probably monitor a little more closely, which I'll provide y'all an update on that in the morning. I'll pull out those indicators, and we'll kind of look at those, see exactly where we're sitting, and if we can see some higher gains tomorrow. We closed at 245 today. As you can see, we're trending back up here on the 7-day moving average, using that as support more or less. We closed, 245, came down a little bit, 239. We kind of been up and down since, but really feel like we got places to go with this stock. I'm really excited. Today was a good day. Made a little money today. Hopefully some of y'all were able to also. But we still got a few of these up here that we're gonna watch. We still got some high gains we're looking to make. As soon as we can get that squeeze that we've been looking for, we need that boost of that volume, whatever, to drive these stocks, that news. As soon as we can get something like that all coming in at once, we should start to see some of these nice jumps here. Waiting for a gap up. Hopefully we can see something happen overnight into the morning. There's no guarantees here on some of these, but some of our picks here are known though to gap up pretty high. They can jump a couple dollars or so in just a pre-market or after-hour session. So we'll see what happens come morning. If anything's posted, any news updates, and we'll definitely keep y'all filled in. I know some of these are starting to move a little lower, as you can see here, but we're gonna hold it now. We'll see what happens here. I'm not gonna let it scare me yet. I don't have too big a position in some of these, but I'm gonna wait and see what happens here come tomorrow. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. Hopefully these charts were helpful. Our discussion was able to do something for y'all. Tomorrow we'll be looking for some new positions, more likely to take on one of these stocks we're looking at, and I'll let y'all know exactly what I decide to do myself, when I may buy, or if I decide to sell out on some of these. Hopefully y'all are profitable today. If not, we're gonna try again tomorrow, and hopefully I can give y'all some pointers to put some of that money in y'all's pocket. But we'll catch up tomorrow. Appreciate everybody checking out the footage today, and we'll talk with y'all then. Appreciate it. Later.